faithfully delivering value, interpreting great books from around the world. Hello, this is Ixama. Today I'll interpret this book for you titled The Strange Life of Human Corpses. The title sounds a bit scary, but this isn't a horror novel, nor does it involve souls or supernatural forces. This is a popular science book. The end of life doesn't mean the end of the physical body. It still has quite a journey ahead after death. This book focuses exactly on that journey. Our author, Mary Roach, is an American science writer who graduated with a psychology degree from Wesleyan University and has written columns for National Geographic and New Scientist magazine. Mary's witty and hilarious writing style makes The Strange Life of Human Corpses her masterpiece. When published in 2003, its unique content and humorous style captivated readers worldwide, earning praise from the Los Angeles Chronicle, Entertainment Weekly, etc. Multiple media outlets named it Book of the Year, with prominent recommendations from Amazon, Barnes& Noble, and Borders. Best-selling author and forensic expert Kin Ming praised Mary. With remarkably calm and scientifically rigorous language, she unveils the hidden secrets behind corpses. I believe science enthusiasts like me will love this book. But despite these accolades, be warned, the upcoming content is quite graphic. If you're easily frightened, don't listen at night. If you're eating now, please hit pause. All right, let's begin following Mary on this strange journey through the lives of human corpses. Our first stop is an automotive manufacturer's lab. For 60 years, car makers have refined products for road safety, where cadavers collaborate with living experts. Truth is, cadavers aren't multi-talented. They can't trade stocks, dance, or tell jokes. But one thing they excel at, enduring pain. This strength lets them assist in military, forensic, and industrial experiments impossible for the living. In auto safety, for example, cadavers help determine the human body's crash impact limits. These impact types include, but are not limited to, collisions, head-to-chest impacts, abdominal strikes, and so on. You might not understand why corpses are necessary for experiments. Couldn't we just use models? Indeed, models can simulate the human body's shape well and even measure impact forces during crashes. But if you don't know what changes occur in a real human body under these impacts, these numbers are meaningless. That's when corpses come into play. For example, car windshields were designed to become thicker and stronger for a long time. Because if the glass was fragile, front seat passengers in crashes could easily shatter it and cut their faces, so the glass got thicker. But the injuries to front seat passengers in crashes were still gruesome. So experts had to turn to corpses, using them for simulated collisions with windshields. After examining skull fracture patterns, experts found that impacts to the forehead cause concussions. The sturdier the glass, the greater the brain damage. Now, windshields are less thick but have enough elasticity to reduce concussion risk during impacts. Thus, it's significantly reduced. Besides, for the airbags that are standard in every car now, where exactly should they be installed for maximum protection? Corpses also guided us on this. They not only test safety, but can also make you more beautiful. Next, let's enter a teaching lab where a facial plastic surgery lesson is about to take place. The lab is set up very warmly. 40 teaching tables covered with clean lavender plastic cloths, each with an aluminum roasting pan, skin hooks and retractors, neatly arranged like cutlery, complemented by clean windows and bright lighting, making the whole scene resemble a luncheon. Oh, the reason for placing the lab heads and roasting pans is to catch the fluids that will flow out. Soon, today's guests, doctors, take their places, lift the white cloths covering the pans, and instantly a row of heads, old and young, male and female, appears before them. Without delay, the doctors pick up scalpels and begin work. They meticulously peel back layers of the head's tissues, skin, fat, muscle, fascia, nerves. Doctors already know these tissue layers by heart from textbooks, but seeing them on an actual cadaver is far more vivid than textbook descriptions. Next, they practice cosmetic surgeries with tiny tools, like nose jobs, eye lifts, or jaw reshaping. Here, they can go all out, practicing techniques and experimenting. Even if they mess up, these heads won't sit up and complain. In the lab, corpses are respectfully called the Shi. Before starting, each researcher bows to the cadaver to honor the donor. Even today, cadaver sources are scarce. Often 10 students share one body in med schools. Voluntary donations are especially rare, so each person who donates to science is truly great and noble. But back in ancient times, bodies for dissection were hard to find. This hindered medical progress. Galen, Rome's top doctor, studied anatomy by patching up gladiators. He ended up thinking the liver had 5 lobes and the heart 3 chambers. Totally wrong by today's standards, but nobody questioned them for ages. Hippocrates saw the brain as a mucus gland, and the Huayme missions organ details seem random and bizarre. For instance, the heart governs the spirit. A large heart resists sorrow, meaning heart size affects emotional resilience. The book claims the gallbladder is central, bossing all organs around. This was because dissecting corpses was taboo everywhere, gross and guilt-inducing. Back then, only Egypt was okay with it. They made mummies. But by 300 BC, even Egyptians stopped dissecting. So people had to find alternative ways to explore the human body's mysteries. For example, in ancient Greece, people deduced human anatomy by dissecting animal corpses. But a Greek physician named Paraphilus questioned this approach. He obtained executed criminals' bodies and performed 600 public dissections, greatly advancing anatomy. Thus, Herophilus is known as the father of anatomy. However, such body sources were unreliable. For those less renowned than Herophilus, getting approval to dissect criminals wasn't easy. So many could only access their own relatives' bodies. Sounds terrifying. But for youths dedicated to anatomy, it was almost the only option. Take William Harvey, father of physiology. In 17th century England, he discovered blood circulation and the heart's function, a medical milestone. Yet his discovery came from dissecting his own father and sister. Oh, you can imagine how painful this was for the doctor. So after the Renaissance, grave robbing became common for experiments. Plus, surgical techniques were crude and conditions appalling. These surgeons looked less like scholars and more like butchers. So stealing corpses at midnight didn't weigh on their consciences. Later, with modern medicine's rise, government anatomy schools emerged in Britain. Yet they faced cadaver shortages too. At their peak, students could skip tuition by bringing a corpse to class. As grave robbing surged, by the 1800s, people realized things were out of control. So laws were passed, gradually curbing this undignified practice. But even if spared theft, unused corpses inevitably decay rapidly. Decay starts with autolysis, tissues self-digesting. We know body cells use enzymes to break down substances into nutrients. Oh, when alive, cells keep enzymes in check. After death, enzymes run wild uncontrollably. First, they break down cells themselves, releasing fluid, the initial decay stage marking decomposition. This fluid quickly mingles with bacteria throughout the body. The bacteria, oh man, this is like hitting the jackpot. So they happily feast, multiply, and excrete in this ocean of delicacies. No mouths or teeth, yet they still eat and excrete. Their metabolism generates massive gas. Living bodies release gas through lungs and digestive tracts. Cadavers can't, so gas builds up, inflating the body like a balloon. Decay's second stage. This pressure can pop eyes out, force tongues through lips, or burst through sphincters. Yes, corpses can fart, though they don't need to. Then decay advances from cells to tissues, lungs and guts collapse into sludge. Finally, it becomes broth-like yellow liquid, seeping into soil or evaporating, leaving only indigestible bones. This gruesome, drawn out process shatters any romantic afterlife notions. Hence, humanity's eternal fight against decay, starting with Egyptian mummification. Mummification is complex. Extract organs, dissolve fat, wash skin for 40 days, dry the body, stuff cavities with spices, coat in resin to block air and bacteria. Finally, wrap it tightly in cloth. Egyptians believed souls persisted and would return to the living world. How awkward if the soul returned to a vanished or rotted body. It's like if we time traveled to ancient times. We'd all hope to become elegant gentlemen or young beauties, but arriving as a mutilated zombie dripping pus? Oh man, that's hardly appealing. Admittedly, mummies don't look much better than zombies, but at least the body's preserved. By the 19th century, during America's Civil War, modern embalming, arterial preservation was developed. If mummification's like salting fish, arterial preservation is simpler. Cut an artery, flush blood with water, and pump preservatives like alcohol or formaldehyde through the vessels. During war, this let fallen soldiers return home dignified. After President Lincoln's assassination, he received this treatment, popularizing the technique. Today, technicians use external circulatory systems to deliver preservatives to every cell. Post embalming, they'll also style hair, apply makeup, and repair facial wounds. Preservatives rehydrate tissues, eliminating sagging and shriveling, making bodies look eerily lifelike. Beyond this classic method, you've probably heard of another advanced option, a pricey preservation method, cryonics. Bodies are flash frozen in liquid nitrogen around minus 150 degrees Celsius. Like ancient Egyptians, cryonics believers hope future tech can revive perfectly preserved bodies. So we see resurrection has been humanity's tireless pursuit for millennia. But so far we can't revive dead bodies. Luckily, scientists observed heads briefly retain reactions, even consciousness, after decapitation. So, they devised a fallback plan. If we can't preserve whole bodies, maybe just keep heads alive. If this works, a person could live on even without a body. And if conditions permit, transplanting this head onto another body would essentially resurrect them. This wild idea was born in the Romantic country of France. Many French scientists pursued it relentlessly. Finally, in the late 19th century, Dr. Jean-Baptiste Laborde actually experimented on a corpse. He built a mobile lab on a horse-drawn cart to get freshly severed heads right after executions. Laborde got his wish, a fresh head. Within minutes, they injected blood into the carotid artery while inserting electrode needles into the brain, trying to coax signals from this dying nervous system. When Laborde electrified the head, its lips twitched and one eye opened. Ooh! Laborde and his assistant gasped, half in horror, half in excitement. But this was Laborde's only success. He never progressed further. Scientists abandoned radical human head experiments, turning to animal studies instead. Yet, by the 20th century's end, achieving immortality through heads hadn't yielded real results. Since resurrection seems distant, we face a practical question: what to do with corpses? 12th century Arabs answered, "Eat them." Oh, sounds unbelievable today. But back then, money and connections could buy a miraculous food. Honeymen, corpses soaked in honey, also called mummy confits, originally used to treat fractures. A small dose supposedly cured instantly. Honeymen became so popular that elders donated bodies to help others. These elders ate nothing but honey for years before death, then were preserved in honey-filled stone coffins. Years later, like unsealing aged wine, breaking the seal completes a honeyman. This cannibalistic healing practice even reached Li Shizhen of Ming Dynasty China via Arab merchants. Li Shizhen never tasted honeyman himself, so he remained skeptical of its efficacy. Yet, he recorded it in the Compendium of Materia Medica, alongside medicines made from dandruff, earwax, foot skin, and other body fragments. Oh, reading this today still sends shivers down your spine. Even in modern society, some body parts still end up consumed. Those of certain age might remember placenta consumption and placental tissue injections. In Europe and America, vast amounts of placenta are eaten yearly. Western folklore claims this tissue cures weakness or conjunctivitis. Now it's used for postpartum depression. Google searches reveal luxury placenta recipes on pregnancy sites, like blending 230 milliliters vegetable juice, half cup carrot juice, quarter raw placenta, and ice for a nutritious placenta cocktail. Unlike secretive cannibalism, this is openly promoted, even featured on British TV. Of course, most modern people reject consuming human flesh, partial or whole. So everyone must ask, where will your body go after death? If your corpse nourishes life before rotting, continuing existence in new forms, would you consider it like becoming fertilizer? Traditional burials have flaws. Graves devour land. If death was disease-related, burial won't stop pathogens from spreading. Cremation, once seen as eco-friendly, still burns fossil fuels and pollutes air significantly. In Michigan, USA, people are trying a new burial method, using tissue digesters to turn bodies into fertilizer. True, cremated ashes can be fertilizer too, but they're low in nutrients. Shredding bodies directly for faster decomposition is more effective. The tissue digester first cuts bodies into pebble-sized pieces, then pulverizes them into meat-like paste using grinders and steam power. Next, it sterilizes and dries the mixture with 121 degrees Celsius steam before packaging. At this point, the body becomes pure fertilizer. Funeral industries in Germany, Netherlands, Israel, and others have shown interest in this technology. In Sweden, even the king supports it. We Chinese often avoid discussing death and shun corpses. Today, we've learned corpses still contribute to the living. In medical research, for example, though they naturally decay, human efforts to preserve, utilize, or even resurrect bodies have spawned remarkable stories. Even after life ends, the corpse's journey continues. Whether in life or death, don't waste this extraordinary and fascinating journey. All right, that concludes our interpretation of the strange life of human corpses. Reading notes are below the audio. See you tomorrow.